You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Goofy should have been a bard.
I've realized now that my shirt is inside out.
Now, have you tried just renting several goats? I saw Forrest Gump. I know how Vietnam works.
Yeah, exactly.
They're leaving behind a picture of a llama with sunglasses as a calling card.
When you're running a train, you want to be anchor position.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 328. I'm your host, John Danger. I've got fanfare, apparently, when I introduce myself, so thank you for that. My co-host.
I'm your co-host, Matt Haig.
And I'm your other co-host, the TJ of the May.
Wow.
We're stepping things up for
That's good.
episode 328. Is that
I know, it's true. We need to get, more high energy.
Yeah.
One of the
getting hyped.
One of the issues that I've had recording this podcast, and people have listened to the show, if you've listened to every episode, I mean, God bless you, but, I'm kind of a low energy person, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a hyper guy,
Yeah.
We had a hyper guy on the show, but he had to leave. He died on the way back to his home planet. No, he's around. Although he isn't known by the same name now, so technically...
the podcast Sleep With Me is, a real big thing now, so I think this could be another one of those podcasts that people just fall asleep to. Yeah.
Okay. I'd be like, how's your day? Let's talk about fluffy clouds. This is like some ASMR stuff. That's what my wife listens to fall asleep, is ASMR stuff.
I listen to podcasts about murder usually to fall asleep.
Like her weird ASMR she likes nails.
Oh God!
On
my issue with the
things.
ASMR stuff is that they're real big on lip noises, and I can't stand those.
Is that a fidget spinner, TJ?
This? No, it's a Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue pin.
Oh, okay. It would be better if it was a fidget spinner.
It would be better if it was a fidget spinner.
You'd be cooler if you were.
I think one of my favorite descriptions of Kingdom Hearts series was in that. So this is basically video that you showed me.
Yeah.
And it's just like you, Goofy, and Donald Duck's corpse go everywhere because in that game you're joined by Goofy and Donald Duck, and then occasionally, depending on the zone you go to, sometimes you'll get one of the characters to join you instead. But Donald Duck fucking dies all the time because he's like a mage character, so his HP is not as good and his defense isn't as good.
Yep.
Why
and he just
Donald
never.
Duck a mage?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
Goofy's a knight. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see him as a clumsy knight.
What do you think that Mickey would be?
The mage.
Yeah, Mickey's a mage. I mean, yeah, he's got that wizard
he's got
hat.
that Fantasia short.
Yeah. I get it now. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but in the game, he's more of just a lone sword fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, almost a traditional knight where Goofy is more the paladin.
Goofy should have been a bard.
Ooh, I actually like that idea.
Like all the Goofy covers I've been hearing.
Yeah, the Wake Me Up Inside Goofy.
Yep.
That's real good, actually. I'll have to link to that. I think I've probably linked to it in our Discord before. But that's a plug for our Discord if you go. We share funny links and things in there. Matt, you got you should put a Discord link somewhere. Oh, yeah, but
we were talking about that before you came on.
I wasn't in the room. So.
I'm gonna add a thing.
We'll add a thing, and then we'll try to maybe put a bottom
for the audio-only listeners. We're talking about the glorious redesign that I did for our little live stream.
It looks really nice. I love it.
It's going to continue to evolve because I got to make a new logo that fits the space better. And there's a little chat area now, and it's very pretty. So just go to Matt Haig Music. Just go to twitch.tv/Matt Haig Music. Sunday nights usually around 8:30 or 9:30 Central, and you'll be able to see it.
Well, if you go to bornintheeighties.net, on the left-hand side, it'll say, join us on Discord, and there's a link there, and that works.
Yep.
That's a permalink, so that's the easiest way. Is just go to bornintheeighties.net. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, yeah, you ain't nothing for you to see on screen to click on. So
no, but it's still pretty to look at. Plus, there's like all of our faces stuff.
You know what my favorite thing about the way that we record this podcast over YouTube, and I get the audio from YouTube, is that you have uploaded how many hundreds of hours of us talking onto YouTube. So YouTube is basically having to pay for the hosting of all of these episodes.
Oh god, it's so many
with like no views. Like on any of them, like some of these have like 10 views, and that's like a lot.
Yeah, the YouTube video is just kind of like a vestigial structure of the podcast. It doesn't matter. It's just a process. It's a result of the Google Hangout thing.
Yeah, but YouTube is forced to host these things
for Twitch,
and I like it because YouTube is, famously Google has disallowed me to monetize YouTube.
Yeah.
So I am happy that YouTube is forced to host hundreds of hours of footage.
Yeah, right now we've got 97 videos on this channel, and they're all at least like 2.5 hours.
Well, there's some that are like an hour and a half. But yeah, they're all like
probably
an hour
2
and a half
hours
to 2.5
hours.
Yeah, I would say yes. Between 1.5 and 2.5 hours.
I know we got a copyright flag on our last episode. Let's see what this says.
Wait, we did?
It says the girl from Ipanema. Yeah.
I know how you love using it.
And then the video on YouTube gets monetized by the copyright owner, and then they get nothing because we don't point anything onto the YouTube video.
And that's just a claim, not a strike. It's just a redirect of funds.
Yeah,
Plus, I don't think we advertise at all on our. I guess when it gets flagged like that, it puts advertisements on there.
Yeah, I really hate YouTube for that. That's one of the reasons, because like the auto content claiming stuff is so ludicrous. Like when we were playing PUBG back in the day, like a year and a half ago, I would always like stream and put like. I got a cool playlist on YouTube of just like weird MIDI covers, or not MIDI. MIDI is a hard way to put it because like we've said before, MIDI is a format, not a sound. But what I'm looking for is
default library.
Yeah, the default MIDI tones basically is what I want of covers of stuff. And there is a MIDI cover, really good cover, and it's probably not even like MIDI. It's probably more than the default tones. Of I think it was Smooth Criminal. They got content flagged, and it's not even you know what I mean. It's like clearly a cover of the song, and clearly not the original recording. But like,
and you got flagged for being a smooth criminal by playing Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's so stupid because like, let me see copyright notices. The Hold Fast Nations at War. I got copyrighted content because people. So in that game, I talked about this a long time ago. I love that game, and I kind of stopped playing it. But it was it was around Christmas time last year, I guess. And people just will turn their like microphones onto their speakers and blast music. Well, like because there's a character called like a Fifer class, that plays like battle march music. Oh
yeah, and
so. I was copyright flagged for music playing in this video, Jingle Bells, featuring the Muppets, Andrea Bocelli, the Muppets. Someone was blasting that while we went into battle, which was pretty funny. The PUBG one, actually was copyright claimed twice, which means that it was nobody was getting money. What do you do? Like complain, or what's it called when you do a decision?
Dispute.
Yeah. So I disputed one of them, and that one went away. But it's Billie Jean. Sorry, not Smooth Criminal. Billie Jean was rejected by the copyright owner, because I'm assuming they just auto reject, because there's no way, because it rejected like immediately. Like there's no way they're actually listening to this.
Yeah. No, my favorite thing to bring up during these conversations is when I got flagged for posting a performance of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. And yeah, it's
like your original performance.
Well, it got flagged, like I'm guessing it got ID'd by someone else that had recorded Moonlight Sonata, and it sounds the same because it's the same fucking song. But it doesn't do any checking beyond that to see if it's like a public domain thing.
Oh, nice. My it looks like my Internet Masterpiece Theater, Amy's Baking Company, has a monetization claim on it.
Is it from the Amy's Baking people?
No, I wish, because that would be more fun. This is my most popular video with over 2,000 views, so and lots of comments. Actually, it's a fucking honor. Anyway, this is Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I pulled this from some random like classical music like performance thing, but like this is like there is no way that this is being claimed by probably the people or
the only way is
particular recording.
If it was that specific recording, and then whoever owns the master.
There's probably no way that whoever claims this is that specific recording, because it probably just auto caught it.
Yeah. And it's just like, this sounds like the thing.
Mm-hmm. So I should probably dispute it and see what happens, just because, like, it's just stupid. Like, it's so. I mean, people have ranted about this and then on YouTube for a long time, but like the copyright claim thing, like, seriously fucking sucks on YouTube. And like, you see a lot of video game streamers have moved to Twitch, particularly because since Twitch is live, like, you can play music and it's fine because you're not going to get, especially if it's music underneath your like gaming. Yeah. Or music that's in a game that you're playing.
Your VODs can get muted, though.
But the VODs don't give a it doesn't matter if the VOD gets muted.
True.
Like, because people are watching live. Like, and that's the whole point of Twitch.
If it's a game that has like licensed content, like Fallout, then you gotta mute that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's part of the fun of watching. Like the stuff on Twitch live is that like people play music and it's fine because it's like it's live, like it's a live performance with
I do
music.
like when if someone's playing like a strategy game or something where it's not like you're not invested in the sound of the game.
Yeah,
listening to whatever they play in the background is
nice. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't know what I would do about this one. I honestly don't care because I don't have it monetized anyway. I'm just happy now that the worst part about this is that since I can't monetize anything on my channel, I can't put ads on here, so none of my stuff has ads on it, except for the random ass shit that gets monetized by like people claiming. And that sucks because this is like probably one of my more popular videos, and there's gonna be a fucking ad on it.
Yeah.
YouTube can suck a dick.
You could have made like $3 from that.
Not even with 2,000 views over like.
Oh yeah,
5 years. I don't think so. But I mean, I don't know. It's just stupid. Like, YouTube has become no. It's not YouTube anymore. It's the corporation tube. Like. Yeah. I mean, it's just like all these companies now just have they completely bent over and allowed all of these media companies to just completely like spam them. And I understand
because that's where the money is. So that's like
but it's going away now because the ads are like not worth anything anymore on YouTube. So, but it's just so stupid because I understand and like the thing is, it's important because a lot of people just steal fucking music off YouTube. And creators deserve to have their music done. But I'm talking about stuff that is like someone just posting a song from a popular artist that gets like millions of views. Like, yeah, okay, that's fucking wrong. But if I'm going to use a cover of a popular song lightly sounding in the background of my gameplay video, and that gets fucking monetized, like copyright claimed, like, it's just stupid. Like, it's you know, they use a sledgehammer instead of, you know, a regular hammer to drive the nail
instead
in.
of a scalpel hammer.
That's a bad analogy because it's that. But yeah, they're using a buzzsaw instead of a scalpel when it's needed. Maybe that's better. I don't know, but it just bothers me because it's like, what a bad thing. Twitch is the future, though, right? TJ?
Yeah. I've got 2 days off this week, so I better stream this week. 2 days
have
off in a
to.
row.
Can I even pay for your stream now?
It should be coming soon, if not already.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to
I
do
can
that.
I can re-up my subscription for you like tomorrow or the day after that.
Yeah, I don't even know how I do that.
You just go to my channel and hit sub again, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I'm gonna go to your channel and hit
Twitch.tv/mayofmay.
That's a good joke.
Hey, I
really...
can sub.
Hey.
Free. Yeah, anyway, so that's the TJ plug. TJ, it says the last. Oh wait, no, never mind. I was like the last time you streamed was in January of 2017, but
no, that's
time
not last
TJ
VOD.
streamed.
that's a clip.
2007.
So anyway,
It feels like that long ago.
yeah. So well, I mean, you started a new job. How's that working out for you?
It's going well. I'm on my feet a bit more than I'm used to, but you know,
it's nice too, though. Get a little off your
butt.
Off your butt, yeah. Yes. Anyway, cool. Well, I've been off my butt too.
What have you been off your butt doing?
So if you own a home, and I'm sure TJ also deals with, even though he doesn't own a home.
Oh,
because
let's
he lives
see if
in a home.
I probably have a
Yeah,
homeowner.
It's fall.
The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which
And
was
so-
the style at the time.
I've got a trick for it once you actually talk about it.
The best thing about fall is all the pretty leaves
Yeah.
become horrible amounts of backbreaking labor for
Well, no,
you.
because the leaves fall, and then like whoever owns the building you're renting just sends a man to take them away.
Yeah, well, I could have sent a man to do it too. Or on my next door, this is a mini my neighborhood. I checked. I don't have any ridiculous posts this week, but they were like,
here's a mini
"We got
one.
some."
Please won't you be?
There's no end to that. What's going on?
It was a mini one.
Oh, okay, thank you. Please won't you be my next door neighbor? No, my neighbors put, or not neighbors, somebody in my fucking next door app put up we got some middle schoolers looking for some raking work to do. I was like, so I could have paid those middle schoolers $20 to rake my yard. Raking a yard
Here's what you
is
do.
hard fucking work, and
You
I
pay
haven't done
those
it
middle
since I was in high
schoolers to
school.
rake your yard, but then you say, "I'll pay you after you do the work,"
Yeah.
and then after they're done, you don't pay them,
Yeah.
and you teach them a valuable lesson about
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah. Well, the middle schoolers in my my neighborhood, they only accept Fortnite bucks, Epic Cash, or whatever it's
V-Bucks.
called. V-Bucks.
V-Bucks.
So, you know what I'm loving about my life is that on Twitter you can mute words, and I muted Fortnite, so I don't get any tweets about Fortnite ever. So I
man.
never have
How
to
do I
think
do
about that game. You just go in your thing and you put muted words in. I muted Fortnite and a bunch of other random ass shit that I hate getting millions of tweets about.
So I have a Fortnite related bit at work.
Now, John won't have heard you because he's muted that word. So
Now, I've realized now that my shirt is inside out. I'm looking down and I'm like, this is the wrong way. You can see the sleeves or you can see the seam. But anyway, it's a stylistic choice.
yeah.
Sorry, TJ. Back to your Fortnite.
Yeah, so a lot of companies only started releasing official Fortnite swag in the past month and a half.
Yeah.
And there's already a Fortnite sweatshirt that has been donated to my location.
Oh man, do you think it's from a dead child?
No, here's my thought. Is it happened on Saturday, the day after Call of Duty came out with the new Blackout Battle Royale mode.
And they're like, "Fuck this! I'm not playing Fortnite anymore.
Go
I'm
Call
gonna play
Duty."
Call of Duty."
Do we think Fortnite's crested finally?
I don't know.
You know, I'm not in touch enough with the hip youth to know, so I'm gonna completely uninformed say yes, of course it's crested.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that you got to think about the fickle youth.
Yeah.
And Fortnite will become lame in a year. You know what I mean? It's
You would have
gonna be
thought that it would have been lame by the time people like us started playing it. But that was a while ago.
Yeah, but like we started kind of playing it when it was pretty new, and then then it blew up. You know, we're kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to like stuff like that. So,
I'm just gonna read a headline, and we're gonna leave it on the table and move on.
All right.
This Breath of the Wild mod lets you play as Bowsette.
I saw that.
So, welcome to the end of the world. I'm
man,
ready to go.
living her best life, and
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
You can go with or without dress, but the dress has dress physics.
How do
you go without a dress? Is she just
Wild?
nude?
Oh no, it's like a top and a basic undergarment.
Okay. I guess. I mean, you know, people are thirsty for Bowsette. What can I say?
You know, and thigh-high boots, because thigh-high boots.
Of course. With heels?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Everyone's watching.
So how have you solved your leaf problem?
Yeah.
Oh, how do I solve my lift problem?
Yes.
So I have a simple solution. It's called mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a lawnmower that has a grass catch. So it all gets pushed back into the grass catch. I have to dump more often, but
Yeah. No, that is my goal for next year, is to purchase a new lawnmower that allows me to do that, so I no longer have to rake.
My parents have had a, I don't know if they still did, but when I was still mowing lawn at their house, they had a mower that was like a mulching mower, which I guess the blade is somehow different or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it just would chop the shit out of the leaves, and then it would stay there and rot and become fertilizer.
Yeah, correct. And the idea with lawn care and leaves is that the leaves, as long as they're small enough pieces, they can just become plant food. But if they're too big, they'll like cover the grass, and the grass won't be able to get any sunlight, and it'll die. Mm-hmm. Or it'll create kind of a layer of decayed leaf over the grass, which will suffocate it during winter. Because the grass still needs like air and water to get down to it, so you want to get as much leaf up as you can, basically, to help your lawn stay healthy. But yeah, if you just suck them up, that works too. I mean, your lawn doesn't need the extra fertilizer usually if it's healthy, and you can always just use regular fertilizer. It's not that expensive. But anyway. Yeah, that's my goal for next year. But 16 bags of leaves, 16 40-gallon bags of leaves.
Holy crap!
On the curb now.
Now, have you tried just renting several goats?
Yeah, I don't think they eat dead leaves though, do they? I mean, I'm sure they do. They probably would eat all of the other flowers and plants in my backyard first, which is not be ideal. But yeah. So I mean, it was a lot of work. But yes, I utilized the mowing technique because I have a side eject mower. And if you just go over the leaves enough, they'll cut them into pieces, and then you can kind of do circles around with the mower to push it all into a pile, so that you just have to rake at the end. It's not so bad, but still, I mean, that's how I'm going to do it, because I'm sure I'll have to mow again in the fall, because I don't think that it'll get warm enough. The grass is going to keep growing for another month here probably, so I'll probably have to cut it again once or twice. And then I'm just gonna have that. But yeah, they make leaf lawnmower like leaf vacuums.
Yeah,
like it's like a lawnmower, but it just sucks up stuff off the ground.
It's like a leaf blower, but it's a leaf
sucker.
I
mean, literally, it is, and it has like a tube that just goes into a bag that fills up, and it has a grinder in the top, so it grinds the leaves up into tiny little pieces. But yeah, so.
I've got a grinder on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Ha! Oh gosh, TJ, what are you? Is another Lance special episode? What's going on here? But anyway, yeah. So that's what my whole weekend was. So I'm very sore because I mowed and did all the raking, and raking is a lot of work. But our backyard trees are basically completely leafed out at this point because the ash tree leaves already fell, and the honey locust is mostly fallen, and one of our front yard trees fell, but the other one hasn't yet. So,
have you tried just like a preemptive strike on the trees?
Just kill the trees?
Just kill all the trees.
Well, next year I'll have one less tree, because the city's cutting one of them down. in the front.
You got to get yourself some of those ash borers.
I do. I already do. We talked about this on the previous episode. I've got. That's why one of my trees in the front yard is coming down. The other one, I think they treated rather than tearing it down. So, but I, the one in the back I treated. Although its leaves fell really early, which I don't like. Does not bode well, I don't think, for the health of that tree. But I mean, it was treated this year. Next year, hopefully it'll be healthier. I don't really know. I hope it doesn't have to come down because that would cost like $4,000 to have the tree removed, and I don't want to do that. Because that's a lot of money.
I could get like a chainsaw off Craigslist.
I mean, yeah, I could do it and then make it fall in my house, or I would die.
That, do you?
What?
Your house? You don't need that?
I don't need my house. No. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
What if it was like a giant goat that ate trees?
Yeah. I mean, heck, they were called woolly mammoths, and they existed way back when. They like to rip trees out of the ground and whatnot.
So you're going to need like a genetic scientist, and you're going to bring back that megafauna sloth.
Yes. Oh, yeah, the sloth guy. I want that thing as a pet.
And here's the thing. Vegetarian and very slow, so it's not going to, like, pull Jurassic Park on you.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it could still kill me, but it won't eat me.
Yeah.
Like if it went in a rage. You know what I mean?
And it might accidentally kill you.
Exactly. But I just gotta be careful.
Yeah. The second it starts talking like Ray Romano, then he's definitely...
No,
or John Leguizamo.
Yeah, Leguizamo.
Leguizamo was a sloth.
John Leguizamo, famous Italian, as we remember from last episode.
The minute it starts talking like Luigi.
Yeah. TJ, can you tell me about The World Ends With You, the original versus remake?
Yeah. So, The World Ends With You is a 10-year-old game that came out on the DS.
Yeah, on the not the 3DS, the DS.
The DS. As in, it's actually in my DS as we
I just want to say
speak.
That The World Ends With You, whenever I see anything that came out like a decade ago, I think of how incredibly awesome the world was a decade ago versus the way it is now.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Do you wish we could be in 2008 again? Like,
yeah,
the financial crisis happened, and I lost my job.
But we were still riding that hope and change train.
Exactly. Like there was so much
starting up.
Yeah, and then oh my god, and I could have bought a house for way cheaper than I bought it now. Like it's just, oh my god, the world. it just depresses me because we've only got like 20 years left before climate change kills everyone.
I think we're
like
down
12.
15. Yeah, it's definitely.
I think
low.
we're probably fine. We'll face some famine, but
Yeah, but we're rich. We're rich enough that it's probably not going to like.
We're far enough inland that it's not going to be a big problem.
Actually, maybe I should do a science corner about that climate thing because that was a pretty big deal.
TJ, tell us more about the world ending with you. And
yes,
not with climate change.
Yes, thank you.
The world ends with me, not with climate change.
The world ends with climate change.
Yes.
Oh, so World Ends With You was a game. Character director was Tetsuya Nomura, which is the guy most famously known for the Kingdom Hearts series.
And Belts.
He likes drawing preteens.
Yes.
Specifically angsty preteens. And that's what this game was about. It's about an angsty preteen who's dead, and in his fight for his life in this Reapers game, he's forced to partner up with someone in something. But more importantly, so this game really used the dual screens, as in you use one hand on the touch screen to play your battles, and your other hand is either using the D-pad or face buttons to control your other person on the top screen. You're actually fighting with two people at the same time. They made a remake of this game on the iOS, on iPhones and iPads, called The World Is With You Solo Remix, that came out about 5 years ago. It's not supported on the store anymore. It's gone. So 2 days ago, at the time of recording, The World Ends With You Final Remix came out for the Nintendo Switch. And the art looks gorgeous. The game plays decently well. But I've set it aside right now, and I'm going back and playing the original. And here's why.
Why? I've heard some around the corners and edges of this saying the version the updated version is not as ideal, I guess.
Okay, so since the game was originally meant to be played mostly with the touchscreen, with some support with your D-pad or face buttons, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, the version on the Nintendo Switch can only be played with either single Joy-Con, right or left, doesn't matter, with single Joy-Con as a pointer, whether it's in tabletop mode or on TV mode. 2 Joy-Cons if you're playing in co-op mode, where one person's controlling one person and the other person controlling the partner. Or, if you have both Joy-Cons connected to the system, you play it without the Joy-Cons, just touchscreen. But you need the Joy-Cons connected to play in touchscreen-only mode.
Correct.
Because it's the only way for it to know, oh, you're playing touchscreen because you're in handheld mode. Which means you've got extra bulk on the system you don't need.
Well, and also you can't play it docked then.
You can play it docked, a single Joy-Con. Use it pointer, because there's no sensor device. Yeah. The pointing just uses the really fine gyroscope in the controllers.
Yep.
And I actually played a little bit while I was waiting for my tire to get fixed the other day. In single-player co-op mode, which is I was controlling both people in battle using both Joy-Cons. Because in battle, you use either outer trigger or your A button, your right face button, to do your attacks, or use the small trigger, the bumper essentially, or the B button to do your movement. So I was moving with this and attacking with this. It wasn't too hard to do what I had to do. You know, whether it's, since everything is based off the old touchscreen controls, it swipes for certain attacks, taps for other attacks, hold and drag for other attacks, swipe upwards for certain attacks. It really just depends on what you're trying to do. Every pin, which gives you the attack, lets you do something different. But the remake looks gorgeous. I'm enjoying it as it is. I'm not super far in the game yet, and I haven't watched other people play it, but I have a few concerns because some of the leveling up in the game, you level up your characters, which is fine, but you also level up your attacks, your pins. The DS version of the game had 3 different types of pin experience depending on how you got them, and those will actually either allow the pin to evolve into another pin if you have more of one kind of experience, or master it and then force it to stay as that one. Because you can get pin points by battling, you can get pin points by not playing the game, which means you shut down the game, you turn it back on, and you'll earn pin points that way. The longer you don't play, the more pin points you get, up to 1 week. And then you get pin points, at least on the DS version, it was called Mingle, which meant you put your DS in Mingle mode, you close your DS, and you walk around with it. And it didn't work like Street Pass, because Street Pass wasn't a thing yet. But if it connected to anyone else's DS that was doing some wireless communication, it would give you a little bit of points. If you connected to someone else's DS that had The World Ends With You also in Mingle mode, it would give you more points and exchange friend information. And sometimes randomly, and this is the I don't have friends method, just randomly at random intervals, in fact I've got some right now, you'll get what they call alien mingle points, which is just, you don't have friends, you ran into your Shining Prince, or I ran into a Psycho Hose Beast, or I ran into Bliss on a stick. Yes, a Psycho Hose Beast. And Bliss on a stick.
Wouldn't a Psycho Hose Beast just be like a pimp?
Yeah, probably. But either way, those are alien encounters, because they're not real wireless encounters.
Okay.
And those give you mingle points. How does the Switch do mingle?
I don't know.
I haven't gotten far enough in the game where mingle's even an option yet.
Okay.
But I know that there's got to be some way. I don't know if it's going to be online. I don't know if it's something else.
No, I think there's not like there's not the Switch doesn't have any proximity type stuff. Like it doesn't have built-in Bluetooth, does it?
Not Bluetooth. I think it connects wirelessly to other switches with like Wi-Fi, but you have to activate that. Like if you're doing ad hoc local wireless, like with Mario Kart, ad hoc local wireless for anything that's got that kind of wireless.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few games that do that. I can only think of Mario Kart though. I think Bomberman has it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Party has it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I have some issues. And now that I picked up and pulled out my old copy of the original The World Ends With You, I'm trying to 100% it.
That's a lot of percent.
Yes, because there's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now I lost my stylus, and that's kind of important for this game.
Yeah, with a touch game. All right, well, now that the world has ended with you, let's talk about the world ending in 2040.
Yeah.
All right, is this a science thing?
It is. Thank you. So I think this is kind of a thing that a lot of people heard about. Like, so the UN has a thing called the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And they put out a 700-page report on the impacts of global warming of 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit or 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, those of you who know anything about climate change have probably heard that we wanted to keep the global warming average temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius, basically. And so this is talking about 1.5 degrees Celsius and what it would take to get there. What they're saying is that if we get to 2 degrees Celsius, we're fucked. Like we had used that before as the limit, but that limit is bad. That the extra 0.5 degree Celsius means rather than most of the coral reefs dying, all of them will be dead forever. So. And
is that something that's important?
I mean, yes, definitely. Every part of the planet is important. So there's not a lot of new. I think what was really interesting about this is that basically this got picked up in news, basically because there's some dates that they put out, basically saying we have till 2030 to get, and what the report is saying, and it doesn't pull any punches at all. It is saying staying at or below 1.5 degrees Celsius requires slashing global greenhouse emissions by 45% below 2010 levels by 2030. So that is nearly a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by a half in 12 years. It's basically impossible based on the rate that global greenhouse gas emissions have been being cut. Like, for instance, I mean, to think about some good things is that between 2016 and 2017, there wasn't any net growth in greenhouse gas emissions on the planet. We stayed pretty flat, and we've been pretty flat for a few years now, except for last year. There was growth.
Yeah.
We kind of backslid a bit, and it's not.
It's all that deregulation. It's just so good for everyone.
Yeah. But I think the important thing to note here is that this isn't just the U.S. This is everyone has backslid. Yeah. Every country has failed. The interesting thing is that the Paris Climate Agreement limits warming to 2 degrees Celsius, which is not as strict as this report says. So the Paris Climate Agreement that we wouldn't sign isn't even good enough to begin with. Is what this is saying, is that we need to set the target at 1.5 degrees Celsius, and this is, of course, was 90 different scientists made a 700-page report, containing data from over 6,000 different scientific publications. So I mean, this is a very comprehensive review of all of the knowledge and data that we have now. We're talking about that now. I know because I think this has been in the news as a joke, like, oh well, the world's over, basically. And I think that the president had some pretty flip remarks about it, saying that, well, it's too late anyway, so why bother? Which is not at all true, because there definitely still is a chance for this to work. I mean, we've already gotten a degree Celsius warmer, since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, and it's already causing a lot of damage. We've seen a lot more extreme weather. We've seen rising oceans. We've seen lots of terrible things happening. But to stop, to limit our warming, and the crazy thing about this report is we need to cut our emissions in half in 12 years to limit us to only destroying 90% of the coral reefs on the planet. That's the thing that's crazy about this.
Yeah.
That literally we need drastic action to have, our limb cut off rather than all of our limbs cut off. Like it's already going to be bad. But we can, but like, the 1.5 degree target will have irreparable damage done. Species will die. Tens of millions of people will be displaced and thousands will die because of the increased temperature. Different areas of the planet are going to become more and more uninhabitable. People are going to have to be moving. That's going to happen with 1.5 degrees Celsius. And that's probably going to be permanent. But things like the coral reef, it can be diminished, but it'll still be there. And if we were able to continually, pull back over the decades and years, it could come back. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't the end. It's just, a low point. So, I mean, some of the crazy stuff about this is, talking about how basically there's almost no way we can get to this goal by just cutting emissions.
Yeah.
We're going to have to actively remove carbon as well. And that's technology that doesn't really exist super well at this moment.
Well, carbon scrubbers exist. They use them on like space stations and whatnot. It's just they're really not. They're not powerful enough to do large scale stuff, and they're not economically feasible. And as far as I know, when they absorb the carbon, they just get tossed in a landfill. I don't think you can actually remove the carbon and do anything useful with it yet.
There are actually air carbon scrubbers now that can create fuel from the air.
Really?
Yes. Water vapor and carbon dioxide can create fuel. Yes.
Can they create inanimate carbon rods?
Yes. No, it is kind of one of those things in its infancy, but that is a thing that we drastically need to increase our investment in science and technology when it comes to that.
There will be hopefully a point where mining carbon out of the air becomes profitable.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that it's currently definitely not at this point, but as gas prices continue to rise, as peak oil still probably hasn't hit yet, but we're not doing anything good right now at the moment. Anyway, but this is going to cost massive amounts of money. Yeah. It's going to cost a lot of change. I think one of the biggest takeaways from this entire situation is how important a carbon tax is and will need to be to get this done. Right now, the carbon tax estimated the appropriate price. The Obama administration had estimated the appropriate price of carbon tax would be $50 per ton of carbon released. And the Trump administration lowered it to $7 per ton is what would be needed based on their estimates. So, which is well below what many experts say of closer to $150 to $5,000 per ton will be required to get to that lowering. So, I mean, we're talking about a massive amount of money to be spent on this, and it's no longer time to keep our heads in the sand over this, because we basically have the chance now to limit the damage that can be done. And it's one of those things that I think hopefully people are going to be more, thinking about as time goes on, because having this report saying that we're going to see like significant effects in the next 20 years, 2040. I mean, I'm looking at my like investments for like my 401k and stuff. I have my retirement set for 2050. This will happen before I'm retired.
You should switch a lot of those to like boat-based investments.
Yeah, right. I mean, I need to prepare for the water world future that we're going to live in. That's actually another interesting thing to bring up too.
Stock
because
up on paper.
Yeah, because one of the effects of climate change that isn't super well talked about or known is the kind of the not a cycle, but it's more of like a bad environment, a bad climate spiral that can happen. Like whereas the temperatures rise, we have permafrost in some of the more northern regions,
and that's a huge
melts
place,
and that releases lots of methane gas into the air that's been trapped underneath the ice for this long,
for like millennia,
which is going to further accelerate the global warming. And that's a tipping point that, I mean, some of the more dire studies have said we're already past that. It's too late. Like that's already going to happen, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. But this, of course, is reviewing 6,000 publications, so I'm sure those are in there, but it's being balanced out by other more conservative estimates as well. But what we're saying is, that change needs to happen significantly and immediately.
Yeah.
And
the important thing is that when this study came out, people talked about it for like nearly an entire day. So I think...
it's already out of the news cycle. I mean, Trump will do something else crazy, and then everyone will forget about it. Or his wife will wear some insensitive garment, and everyone will talk about that instead of...
No, he had lunch with Kanye West and Kid Rock, so everything's good now.
Yes. I would like to mention also that the other thing I want to say is it's really important for everyone to keep this in their mind and to... everyone like reduce, reuse, recycle, do what you can, small changes make big changes. Yes, but that's bullshit.
It is.
Things need to happen at a systemic, global level.
The more time goes on, the more I realize that a lot of the green movement in the early 2000s and late 90s that we were fed was corporations passing the buck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we can replace all our light bulbs, but that's not going to accomplish nearly as much as somebody getting new smokestack scrubbers.
Correct. Like spending tens of thousands of dollars on cleaners and things that can help because they don't want to spend the money. They want us to buy a new thing.
This is all that money that was supposed to trickle down that's still not trickling down.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think the important thing to say about the study is a lot of people saw it as kind of a doomsday thing. It's not really a doomsday thing. It's a bad day thing that could be that I'm not optimistic will happen fast enough. Unless some sort of new technology is invented that we never existed before that wasn't in any part of these analysis pieces, absent that. So Elon Musk, get your stop making personal fucking submarines that people don't need for rescues and start working on climate cleaning devices. I mean, he's doing it, and that's a thing also I want to mention is that like people like rag on Tesla and Elon Musk a little bit because he's kind of a goofball, but he is working towards extremely green things with those companies. Yes, they may be corporately bad in some ways, but the goal, if his goal would be the world would use electric cars only, which would be much better for the environment than what we have now. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that's like, it's a gross corporate kind of thing, but also it's in the right way at least. And additionally, the batteries, that they make for solar panels, they're working on helping keep electricity in the grid, more and make the grid more efficient. It's kind of all those things that I think are helpful. So, I like to rag on the guy, but at least his company is forward thinking when it comes to the environment. So I don't know. That's my science corner. So don't think the world is ending, but also know that you need to vote for people that are going to work on this.
Hey, here's a crazy
You
idea.
need to get people
let's
that are
vote
going
for
to do
some
this.
scientists.
Yes, we need to get some people that
Or even
aren't-
just science literal, science literate people.
Yeah.
Yes, science.
Yes.
Matt, did you want to talk about one of your things, or should we do our homework?
I'll talk about my things. TJ, could you do me a favor and move your mic away a little bit? I'm picking up some breathes.
Okay,
It's already so far away.
I know, right? It's just
so
such a
far
sensitive
away.
microphone.
Yeah, you have like the most sensitive microphone.
Let's talk about
Is in my hair now.
Oh, nice.
there was so the new Fallout takes place in West Virginia.
Yes,
There's
West
an-
Virginia,
Yeah.
Mountain Mama.
I'm working on that cover. That's gonna hopefully come out
Country
this month. We'll
roads.
see. There's an actual presidential, or I guess it's a congressional nuclear vault. In
Yes, I
West
heard about
Virginia
that.
under the Greenbrier, and now it's under this like fancy hotel. And as soon as I think the Washington Post leaked the location of it a while ago, and then they were like, "Oh, I guess we're not using this anymore," so they gave it back to the hotel. You know, they have events down there. One of the events was a Fallout 76 party for like streamers and games journalists and whatnot. And
Well, that's pretty cool.
The NDA for that lifted 2 Mondays ago when this is released. So we got a deluge of
Deluge.
a deluge of
Duluth
Fallout
Trading Company.
76 videos.
Yes.
And basically the headline is you can play it as just a normal Fallout single player game. There's a ton of lore and a ton of story, but it's all like stuff that you discover by like finding a dead body or reading a terminal or just like happening across it in the environment.
Yeah.
Other than that, it looks almost exactly the same as Fallout 4. VATS had to be reworked for the multiplayer environment, so it kind of is a real-time, like, auto-target thing.
I've heard people complain about that quite a bit.
That seems the most wonky to bring
They're like,
into,
this isn't a very good way to fix this.
No.
Because it kind of just randomly zips between different areas on a body.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like...
And it doesn't, like,
Not
snap
great.
your weapon to automatically be aiming at that area, so it's kind of visually confusing.
Yeah. I think it would make more sense for them to just say using that is maybe they limit to be even more rare, and it just auto targets whatever the most highest percentage spot is on the body. You know what I mean? Like it just, you get it less, but it always is definitely going to have the best chance of hitting. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
that makes
I mean, it's still not being. It's still not done yet. You know, they're still. You know, I'm sure because it's
they
an
just
online
did,
game.
I think a
It's
stress
tweaking.
test for Xbox users, and then I think they'll do a stress test for everybody later, and then the end of the month the beta starts.
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to Oxhorn, who is a YouTube type dude that had the most in-depth sort of look into how the story and lore is being presented. Yeah, it's really rad. It seems like all of the concerns about it being online and multiplayer are kind of not well founded. It seems like they, aside from VATS, they took care of everything.
I guess I've heard other opinions to that. I've heard people say that they still aren't convinced. I mean,
do you have any questions? Like,
yeah. So are there any NPCs at all in the game?
There are not non-humans. There's ghouls and super mutant NPCs.
Yeah. So yeah, and like it's really interesting that from what I've heard, at least from people playing, is that the game feels even lonelier than a typical Fallout game.
Yeah.
Because almost everything you get is a terminal or a corpse with a letter that has story, which happens in the other Fallout games a lot. That's a lot of the storytelling.
So there's, from what I've gathered from the story, is this vault was supposed to open after 20 years, and then it opens after 25 years.
Yeah.
And in that time, there were people living in West Virginia that they were a faction called the Responders that were kind of like taking back the wasteland. And then you find out through terminals and stuff that something happened. So whether it was like a biological, like a virus or something killed all of the people that had been trying to repopulate that area. So there's story reason for why it's just so desolate.
Yeah, of course. And like, it does seem like an interesting way. I think the takeaways I've gotten from it is that it does seem like they've done a pretty good job of making it a game that you don't need to play with other people, but you can. And that the PvP is very opt-in.
Yeah, it's you'll get shot, and then if you don't shoot back, they're not going to be able to kill you. Their damage is nerfed an incredible amount.
Yeah.
Well, then if you shoot back, then it's like, okay, you're in this duel situation, and you're doing full damage to each other.
Yeah, and I think another thing I've also read is that they've done some updates to the way that the flagging system is for PvP, in the fact that you can also opt out entirely. So where you'll still, I think, you'll still take that minimal damage, but you can't hit the other people, so you can't accidentally hit them with like a grenade and then get flagged. So if you don't want to do any PvP at all, you can just turn that on, and they'll shoot at you for a bit and then realize you're not going to shoot back, so they'll stop.
Yeah, because I wonder if there's going to be griefers that are like,
oh yeah,
they'll run at your grenade, take a little bit of damage, and then shoot you.
Ha! All my 6 friends can shoot at you now. But it does sound like that they've done a lot of work on it. I mean, it's a great company that makes good games. So, my hesitation on it was just based on the other games that exist in this genre. And like the way it was kind of feeling like this was going to be a lot like those. But it sounds like they've.
I don't know for sure, but it seemed like from the videos that I saw. There was not any like proximity voice chat. It seemed like voice chat was just people that you're partied with.
Yeah, I like that as well. Because I don't want to fucking have Jimmy X69XX like just start yelling. Oh my god, can I talk? Okay, so I just for some reason decided to want to play some GTA 5. Because I got really.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I got really excited for Red Dead Redemption 2, and I was like, man, I'll play some more GTA Online just because it's fun.
I need to start playing it. I have it.
Oh, GTA Online is so much fun. Like, just because like it's probably one of the best racing games that's come out because the driving is fun, and like there's so many custom maps and racing modes. Like they've added so much to that game in like the last I think 8 years it's been out, right? 5 years? 5 years it's been out. And so like. Yeah, because there's like transform races now where you'll like go through a checkpoint and you'll turn into a car or a plane or whatever, and then do the next couple checkpoints like that. And then, so those are really fun. There's stunt races that have like crazy, like 100-foot drops and jumps and stuff. So there's some really fun, and you can play online and you earn cash to like buy new cars and do all sorts of stuff. And there's lots of fun online modes and like tons of story content and all the heists. Like there's just so much to that game, and it's really fun to play online. But I was playing it online this weekend. There was a mode that was double cash, double RP that was fun. It's called Sumo, basically, where you just had to like knock other people out of like an area on the map that's slowly getting smaller, and after a timer goes off, if you're outside the area, your car blows up. And so it's just 2 teams trying to knock each other out of there, and there's like 12 points on the map that it alternates between. Everyone's racing to that and knocking each other over. Really fun. But the PS4 and Grand Theft Auto Online in general, I believe, people, the voice chat isn't disabled by default. So you have to listen to every fucking 12-year-old, horrible 12-year-old just be like, what's going on this race, guys? I'm just going to play here. And they're like having a conversation with someone in the room they're with, like completely oblivious to the fact that they have a microphone on and are broadcasting to like 20 other people in the lobby that they're in. And then you have to go in. You can go in, but you have to manually mute people to not have to hear them. Or if you're on the PS4 like I did, you just make a party of yourself and switch all audio to party chat. And then everyone's automatically muted. But like, there is literally no reason I ever want to listen to voice chat in like that type of online game. Which is the opposite of another game I played. Because I'm like remembering all the shit I've done now. I played Rising Storm 2 this weekend a bit. Rising
Storm 2. The storm's still rising.
The storm has risen further. Well, it's a sequel to Rising Storm. So Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. And so, have you guys are you familiar with Rising Storm games?
I'm
no.
not.
So the first game, Rising Storm, was Red Orchestra. Red Orchestra 2? Remember anyone? Red Orchestra?
I've heard of it, but yeah, I don't know too much about it.
So it's like a World War II shooter that's much more realism based, I guess. So like you don't have like spotting, like really. You don't have pop-ups when you kill people. You can only aim down sights. There's no crosshairs in the game. Realistic bullet damage. Like you take 1 or 2 bullets and you're dead. Big maps, kind of a slow pace. Really fun game. Like I love these games because like it just adds, I don't know, I think the extra difficulty in the shooting just makes for a more rewarding and team play based game where it's much more important for you to be in communication with your other players, so you're kind of calling out what's happening in the battlefield. This game isn't as crazy as Arma, if you've ever played Arma, which is like the super realism based game. Like in Arma, which is an online, and offline, but like a shooter game that's based super realism based, which I love as well. But that game has proximity voice chat only. So like if you're talking to people, you can only hear them if they're within close enough range for your like radios would be. So it's really interesting the way that game works. This game, you're in a squad, you can hear squad chat all over the entire map. But that's a game because it's on PC and it's a much smaller community that like 90% of the people talking are super useful. They're like, hey, squad, I'm working on, because if you're the Viet Cong or not the Viet Cong, they're a faction that exists, but the PAVN, the People's Army of Vietnam, North Vietnam, or the other factions, they have squad leaders can create tunnels, like trenches, which are mobile spawn points, basically. So it's kind of like the guerrilla warfare feel of like, if you're on that side, you have the ability to put a spawn point anywhere on the map if you're a squad leader for your squad. So when you die, you can respawn, just kind of pop out of that little hole in the ground. And so it makes it really tricky to defend as an American. Although as an American or a Australian or the ARVN, the South Vietnamese army, you're allowed to. You have much better firepower. The fact that you have helicopters, and you have. You can call in napalm strikes and bombing runs, so that's cool because like there's like really good people on these servers. There's probably about 3,000 current players, so it's a pretty decent community, but there's people that just spend the entire game flying a helicopter around the map. They're really fucking good at it, and you can just spawn if you're an American, on that or the Allied side, you can just jump in a helicopter spawn point and you're just helicoptering over the fucking rice paddies, and the guy will wait for like a bunch of people to like fill up, and then he'll just hover in, land, you hit the F key to hop out, and then you go off, and then he goes off, does a couple more runs, and then there's also helicopter gunships you can spawn in and get on like the double like cannons on that and just light up different areas. It's just it's such a good game, and the voice chat in that is actually good and useful. Whereas the voice chat in fucking Grand Theft Auto races is always going to be terrible. I'm never going to need to hear anyone say anything in that. You know what I mean? If it's not a cooperative team-based game, I don't need to hear you. Nor do I want to hear you because you're probably awful.
Yeah.
It's like Call of
just
Duty.
like immersion breaking.
Yeah. I like it. Well, and I think the Rising Storm voice chat has some problems because there's people that like to do fake Vietnamese accents that are really awful.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's fucking rampant. But
is
the thing is,
terrible.
I know, but the thing is that like the interesting thing about the community there is that those people are just ignored and stop because everyone's just like, okay, we need to get to this location, and oh hey, we need to set up an ambush, or can you get? Because another thing the Vietnamese forces can do, the North Vietnamese can do, is set up ambushes on points. So which makes everyone immediately be able to spawn at a point that's are not captured. So it just is fucking chaos.
Yeah, that
it's
sounds
so
like really
awesome.
interesting gameplay.
It's so awesome because like you'll be at like you'll be holding a point, and like it's just like Battlefield where you have like tickers of spawns and stuff, and whoever gets that. But like you'll just have like the Vietnamese commander get enough points or whatever recon points to be able to call in the ambush and put it at a point like way behind their line, and just everyone, like 30 players, just spawn in the middle of this area where everyone's like pointed the other way, and it's just fucking chaos. It's so fun, like that game. And the shooting's really satisfying because it is like super, like it's not a super sniper heavy game because there's so much cover, in the jungles and the streets and stuff. So it's like hard to be a good sniper. And it has really fast respawn timers. So, and also you don't feel bad about dying a lot because everyone dies a lot because it's so difficult, because there's situational awareness is so difficult. It's a game in which you don't know who the good guys and bad guys are when you first look at someone because the only way to know is by looking at the way they're dressed, because there's no names above anyone or anything, or little red icons above people's. It's just like, oh, there's a fucking movement in the forest over there. Is it a good guy or a bad guy? And if you shoot them and they're a good guy, they'll die because friendly fire is on. So you have to like.
I saw Forrest Gump. I know how Vietnam worked.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most accurate depiction of Vietnam. You get it feels like a something jumped up and bit you. When you get hit in the butt, and then you get to talk to Richard Nixon. So it's all good. No, it's just such a cool game. I love that game, and it's just one of those. I love Vietnam as a setting for a shooter. It doesn't get done a lot. I love Battlefield Vietnam.
It's just that like forest setting seems interesting because like, I guess most of the shooters I've played have all been World War II style, where it's just like a big open field, or
correct,
or
like a city, or
like a bombed out city kind of thing.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that in this too, but there are maps that are just jungle and hills with like little trenches and stuff.
Yeah, and the like ambushing gameplay sounds really interesting and kind of frightening to play against. Yeah, and another cool thing is the commander on each side has a radio man, which is just another person who spawns, and to call in strikes they have to actually physically go over to that player and use their radio on their back to call in things. So if you're the commander, you have the radio man, they have to kind of stick with you in your squad. So it's pretty realism based in that way, and it's so much fun. Like it's terrible tragedy, but also it's really good as a game. Like the gameplay mechanics are fun and good, and I love the shooting model in it and how difficult it is. And it's not fast paced. You'll spend 2 minutes trying to like just keeping an eye on a little corridor because they have the point over there, because you can get the Americans at least can send recon planes that'll show like tactically like where enemies were last spotted on the map, so you can kind of tell what direction they might be coming from. And you're just looking for some fella named Charlie.
Exactly. It's always some guy named Charlie. I got an achievement called Charlie Don't Surf because I killed a player who was in the water, like running through water. So I thought that was pretty good. I was like, well, a little achievement pop there. So. No, really good game.
I think it might be homework time.
I think it is.
Get those nerds! Nerd! Nerd!
All right. Who goes first?
You went first last time, so it's got to be me.
It's gotta be you. You guys.
All right. I am skipping the headline because it ruins the fun.
Okay.
For this one.
Good.
All right. So this one takes place in Charleston, West Virginia, as originally reported by WCHS and CNN. Residents in one West Virginia neighborhood are upset that someone has been stealing their mail and packages. Perhaps equally galling, they're leaving behind a picture of a llama with sunglasses as a calling card.
Oh, God.
It's like a really shitty Batman villain.
Stacy Tinney, one resident in the Charleston neighborhood, was expecting a big statement earlier this week among other pieces of mail. Instead, she got one of the llamas. What was disturbing is we were home at the time, she said. Tinney reviewed security cameras she has on her property and noticed a black pickup truck in the surveillance footage. Quote, a woman was hanging out of the passenger side and she had opened my mailbox, was removing things from my mailbox, and she looked like she was putting something in my mailbox, she said. Tinney soon found out that other neighbors reported missing mail and packages the same day. She also learned that the laminated llama was not an isolated incident. Quote, while the police were here, the truck was down at the park and ride, she said. Someone told them the police were looking for them and they left, but not before showing them a picture of a llama and saying that they were handing out wedding invitations.
We've got a serial llama.
Okay.
Tinney and the other residents of the neighborhood were understandably left confused. We don't know anybody who owns a llama personally, she said, and definitely no one that would be giving us blank pictures of a llama as a wedding invitation. All joking aside, Tinney said this isn't the first time her home has been a target of theft or vandalism. They stole my garbage from the trash can at the house, not at the road, and we knew that was for identity theft, she explained of one incident. Until they find out who is responsible, Tinney hopes her neighbors will be on the lookout, and she'd advise them to take extra precautions. Quote, I think everybody should get cameras for their house now, she said.
Okay. So,
I think Tinney might be the neighborhood crackpot, and it's fun to prank the neighborhood crackpot.
I think that I thought immediately that this was Fortnite related.
No, it's a picture of an actual llama.
Okay.
With what appears to be Photoshop sunglasses on it.
Okay.
And the reflection in the sunglasses almost looks like the Windows XP background, but a real life picture with trees.
Okay. Did they get the reasoning behind this?
No.
It's just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
So
they still haven't caught the people yet.
I mean, did people have like serious monetary damage from this, or is this not? I mean, I guess stealing a mail is like a felony.
They've been llamaed.
Why? Is that like? So it's like the wet bandits, like they're leaving their fucking calling card.
You would think that these bandits would allow more time for people to get their mail.
Get out.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I'm fucking fired from the podcast. Yeah, so I don't know. It's so interesting though that like that's kind of like the way our neighborhoods are now, is that everyone has a fucking security camera on their house now. You know what I mean? Like I want one. Like I you know what I mean? Like why? It seems like it'd be fun.
I'm gonna llama the shit out of you.
I know, because like I want to get one of those Ring doorbell like cameras, but I'm never gonna buy that. If someone bought it for me as a gift, you know, or like I were to win one in like some sort of raffle, that'd be cool. But I don't think I'm gonna spend $200 to get a camera attached to my doorbell.
Well, maybe for your birthday. Who knows? Whenever the fuck that is.
Yeah, who knows?
Facebook told me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I still forgot to respond the day of.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't really care about Facebook that much. So yeah, that's interesting. So we have Llama Band. What city was that again?
That is Charleston, West Virginia.
Charleston, West Virginia. Back to West Virginia.
West Virginia.
So is this a viral Fallout 76 marketing plan?
I don't think there are any llamas in Fallout.
When is Fallout 76 coming out?
November something.
Okay.
It's definitely November something.
I know. I have a $50 Best Buy gift card as well that I won, and I still don't know what to spend it on.
Fallout 76 probably.
I won't though, because I'm not going to buy the PC version through Best Buy.
1 year of Nintendo Switch Online.
That's only $20, TJ.
I know, you still have $30 left.
Amazon gift cards.
I'm definitely not going to buy Nintendo Switch Online. Like, I did the 7-day trial, and they dinged me for a month because I forgot to cancel it, and they charge you $4 for a month.
Yep.
I was like, God damn it. I forgot to cancel it. But I don't know, there's no games that I play online that I would, like, really want to. Like...
I really am just doing it for the Nintendo games.
But the Nintendo games kind of suck.
But now Super Dodgeball's on there.
Okay. But, like, there's so few games. Like, if they had a bunch of Super Nintendo games on there and a lot of other stuff, I would buy it. But, like, even the Nintendo games they have, there's, like...
Since the
Zelda?
first 20... They
don't even have Metroid.
Yeah, they don't have Metroid.
Like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's just, like, my problem. Is that it's, like, it's not enough. It isn't... It's only $20 a year, but the value proposition to me isn't there yet. When it gets to a point, I can always subscribe then. Because I don't play any games online.
They have 3 Nintendo games with the same theme song on there.
I know.
Tennis, pro wrestling,
yeah.
And... Wait, no, Pinball's not on there.
No, Pinball's not on there. They don't have... I mean, this is stuff that they should have 100 games on there. It would be so easy for them to do this.
Yep.
Like, and they don't. And it's lazy. Or it's some weird... thing they're doing. Like, it's just not good enough for me to give them money. Like, I was kind of amped to try a bunch of NES games, and then I played about 2 minutes of Excite Bike and about 2 minutes of tennis,
Excite Bike.
And I was just like,
I beat tennis level 1.
It's like, I've gotten enough out of this, I guess, because there aren't any really amazing games on here except for Legend of Zelda.
And now there's 2 Legend of Zeldas on there.
Oh, really?
No, not 2 different Legend of Zelda games. Mm-hmm. There's 2 of the regular Legend of Zelda on there. Because one of the things they added when they added the 3 new games this past week was Legend of Zelda Special Edition.
Okay.
Which is Legend of Zelda, starts you at the beginning of the game with the white sword, 255 rupees, a bunch of the items right off the bat, none of the dungeons cleared, the blue ring. It's basically easy mode.
Okay.
I thought for a second you said Legend of Giselda, which is a game I'd be interested in playing.
Yeah, it's Giselle Bundchen saves the world. I want to talk about this as well. I
have to do my homework.
They have Super Mario Brothers, sorry, right? TJ?
Yeah, and Mario 3.
But they don't have Mario 2.
They don't have Mario 2.
Oh, well,
why are they missing stuff? No, Mario 2 is
not.
incredible.
Great.
It's so good. You kill a rat.
3's better though, but Mario 2's
mushrooms.
3 is the best. 3 is the Super Mario Bros. 3 might be the pinnacle of all gaming ever.
Super Mario Brothers 2 has some of the best music for Mario.
Yes.
It's so fun.
I agree with John. But Super Mario Bros. 3 is the best game of all time. Done.
That is
done.
wrong, but Super Mario World's better.
Super Mario World is pretty good.
Super Mario World is garbage.
It's not garbage. It's
got
fucking Yoshi!
Man,
it's a horse that you can ride and murder to get further up in a level.
Horse.
You can only fake fly with the cape feather. The Tanuki leaf is so much better.
Yeah, but you can fly forever.
I'm sorry you don't have the skills to fly correctly,
You can
TJ.
stay aloft for forever.
Done. I'm done. Get me off this show.
Well, I guess that means I won.
Man, that brings up a really interesting debate of what I would say is the best game ever. That is hard.
Yeah, it's always been Mario 3 for me, or at least the best game of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think for me also, like, one of the things I would have to put in is, like, this is also like a personal life experience based answer.
I think
like, what
for me
game...
personally, Mario 3 had more of an impact on me when it came out than Mario World did. Even though it was like I was all high on that Super Nintendo juice, and that I think
there's buttons on the top.
I think that might have been a game that we got bundled with the system, so it could have been the first Super Nintendo game that I played. But still,
I think
Mario 3
for
is
me
unbeatable.
For me, I would have to take stock of my entire life in video gaming for like best game, because I feel like the original Half-Life is up there, just because of all the mods and stuff and how I got way into PC gaming because of that game, like playing Counter-Strike and Day of Defeat and Team Fortress, like all the crazy multiplayer I played because of that game. is up there. But I think for me, like, and we're talking console game stuff, Mario Kart 64. I put
I can see that.
hundreds of hours. We got it for Christmas. Had Mario Kart 64 was bought, and my brother and I probably played hundreds of hours of that, where we would play battle mode against each other, and we would make up rules for the different levels, like and like, oh, okay, in this level you can only go on the top part of the tower if you have, you know, this type of shell, and like, you know, and other, you know, my brother would try and sneak up there and take a shot at me and be like, you're not allowed up here, and just all these dumb extra game rules and stuff, and like just hundreds of hours of playing that like game, and fond memories. But I don't know if it's the best. It's technically not great compared to other games.
Oh yeah.
But to me, it has like the most memories and impact, and playing multiplayer with friends and stuff too. You know, that game is.
I mean, with that same idea of, you know, being a part of your growing up. For me, Maniac Mansion has a deep piece in my heart.
Wow.
It would definitely be in my top 50 of games for me.
Yeah.
Because it just got me into like story games, adventure games.
Yeah.
And it definitely did not perfect that formula then.
Yeah.
I mean, at least not until Day of the Tentacle came out. But
that's the better one.
Without games like that, we wouldn't have all these other games that I still haven't played, like the Adventures of Monkey Island.
Yeah. Or like we wouldn't have
Thing.
Telltale, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yep.
So, but okay, I think it's time for Matt's homework. We went on a long enough tangent there.
All right, I'm gonna do this in my best TV true crime voice.
Ooh,
Dateline, Nashville, Tennessee. What started out as Halloween fun for a group of friends in Nashville turned into a real horror when a woman says she was approached by someone and unknowingly given a real knife, which she used to stab her friend. I'm going to stop doing that voice because it's hard. Metro police are investigating the stabbing.
Wait.
Okay.
Just because? She just stabbed her because she got a knife? Because, like, I guess the thing to do is stab someone.
She thought it was a fake knife.
Oh.
Metro police are investigating the stabbing that happened Friday night at Nashville Nightmare, a popular Halloween attraction in Madison, Tennessee. At this attraction, people dressed up in Halloween costumes roam the grounds, interacting with guests, and working carnival-type games. According to an incident report from Metro Police, officers were told that a group of 4 friends had gone to Nashville Nightmare, and while inside the venue area, they were approached by someone whom they thought was a character there. Nashville Nightmare says they also believe the person involved was an employee who has been placed on leave. The woman who was handed a knife says the group had already gone inside the haunted house and was playing carnival-type games when, and it happened inside of the roped-off area. The possible employee, dressed and talking in character, gave the woman a knife, was messing around with her and playing along, and she thought he was in character, so she said yes to the unknown person, then handed Greenfield a knife, which she thought was a prop knife. The person speaking in character, according to Grenfield, then said, well, here, stab him. Police said Grenfield, only playing along and believing the knife was a prop, stabbed the victim. Grenfield said, she even jokingly said, ha ha, gotcha. But when Grenfield pulled back, she realized the terrifying truth. His arm was gushing blood like something out of a horror scene. There was blood on the knife, a hole in the victim's shirt, and blood squirting from the victim's left arm. Grenfield told police that she didn't mean to hurt the victim. Medics responded to Nashville Nightmare and transported the victim to be treated for injuries at Skyline Hospital. Grenfield says the unknown person, a man, ran away from the incident. 2 others were in the group with the victim and the woman who corroborated the story about the prop knife. The person who walked up to the group is still unknown, but Nashville Nightmare is investigating.
Was this like an employee or just some guy who wanted to see some person get fucking stabbed?
So, there's a statement that's too long to read, but they are they haven't released the name of the person that they think it was, but they have placed somebody on leave and are doing an official investigation. So they think, at least, that it was just somebody that worked there that was handing out real knives to customers and seeing if they could get people to stab their friends.
Wow. What a fucked up world we live in.
Yeah.
Why would anyone ever do that?
Here's a gun. Shoot this guy.
Wow.
But
hear
also,
from the
you're
80s
handed a
condone
knife.
the stabbing or
Like,
shooting
how
people.
hard is it to tell the difference between a prop knife and a real knife?
Yeah. I mean, but also, like, I don't know. You just assume you're in a fucking safe place where that's gonna be fine.
That's
I don't
mistake
know.
one.
Like,
You're never safe. There are no safe
because, you know,
places.
really good prop guns and prop knives look and feel very real. But they don't actually stab. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
I'm
The
just like
excuse is-
imagining that moment of realization when you're like, oh shit, the blade didn't actually retract into the handle. It went into the person.
Oh, that isn't the way it was supposed to go.
It's just lucky they went for an arm shot instead of like torso or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just
It's
who's
like,
at fault?
It's like the neighbor
She stabbed
samurai.
a friend, but also she wasn't trying to hurt them. Like, what are there charges filed? Like, how does this get sussed out? I guess I'm
one
glad I
knows.
don't have to worry about that. You know?
Yeah. You
Like,
just
the
have to
cops
worry
had to
about
sort
getting,
that one
like,
out.
slashed by a samurai sword.
Yes, that's true.
And we all should.
Yeah, the samurai neighbor. I mean, it's a theory. It's real. Anyway. So, wow. So, the samurai neighbor now has become the spooky employee with the real knife instead of the fake knife. Oh, the guy didn't die.
No.
Like, you know, like, if you're like play
some
stabbing
flesh
at
wound.
someone, you're not going to, like, actually, like, kill them. You're just like, gotcha, huh? And it's like, oh, it was a real knife. Like, you know, you're dead. What the fuck? Why?
I like
Why?
how much this has broken you.
But
I
it's
was
just
not
like so
expecting that.
weird. Like what? So is it? I mean, it's entirely possible this person wasn't even an employee.
Yeah.
Like they're just some dude who dressed up as a spooky
Just
costume.
someone
and-
who likes to watch the world burn.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man.
That's why you treat
Wow.
every knife like it's loaded.
Yeah, you treat every knife like. I mean, you know, if it was, what if it had not been a knife and it had been a gun,
Oh, then we'd have a crow situation.
like a fake.
Too soon.
You know what? The interesting thing about the
Too
crow
soon.
situation is that was a prop gun, or it had blanks in it, but it still killed him.
Well, it
because
was.
they-
I think it was. They were showing. What were they doing? They had a scene where they had to load it with real bullets, so they had that, and then they might have fired it, but somehow I think some just wadding got caught in the barrel. So
Correct.
later, when they fired blanks, it shot the wadding out, and that was
Yes.
enough to kill him.
Yes. Dummy cartridges were. Here we go. The dummy cartridges were exchanged with blank rounds, which feature a live powder charge and primer, but there's no bullet in there. It just makes a bang, allowing the gun to be fired without the risk of an actual projectile. But since the bullet from the dummy round was already trapped in the barrel, So what it was a dump. It was they put dummy cartridges in there to make them look like real bullets, like you said.
Yeah.
They were being loaded into it, but they didn't fire. So when they took them out, the bullet part was stuck in the gun,
Oh man.
and then the blank basically shot the bullet out. It's like the most ridiculous, horrible tragedy. Like, no one could have ever, like, you know what I mean? Like, how could you plan that? You know?
Yeah, I mean that's why you You just have to like look down the barrel basically to make sure, like even if you're absolutely certain that it's not loaded, but still like that sequence of events is so unlikely. You can't really blame the props master for not doing that.
I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that 99 times out of 100 there'll never be a problem. So you're like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, we took the bullets out.
It's that kind of situation that causes the rule of just always look with your eyes and don't assume anything.
Yeah.
So until that happens at least once, like, you just don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sure that his death has probably prevented others from dying, because I'm sure there's much stricter rules in place now for props and whatnot. Like, so I don't know. Anyway, wow. Sorry, we just talked about the death of a young actor too soon. We ruined it. Da-da-da. Can we end this with a Reddit that happened, because it's fun?
Sure.
Okay, guys. So you may know from Reddit, there's a Reddit called r/thathappened that tells like the truest, most ridiculous internet stories. They're always 100% true. You know, they're verified to have really happened, so we know it's true. So these are some of the crazy stories. I like to read them because they're really crazy and interesting. TJ's phone fell.
Yes.
Here we go. You sad fuck-ups can't even get it. This is not safe for work, by the way, so guard your virgin ears.
Hide your kids.
You sad fuck-ups. Hide your women, hide your kids. You sad fuck-ups can't even get a simple hug. Lol. One time in college, me and 3 friends got super drunk and decided to hire a prostitute, where she had sex with all of us at one at a time. I was the last, as my friends, of course, knew how good I am at sex. They have to deal with my They have to deal with my dick-addicted ex-girlfriends. They wanted to make her not feel disappointed with them. After I was done doing the deed with her, she probably came 4 times the amount I did. I love that his sexual encounter, he's intimating that he came more than once with a prostitute. I doubt that. So she's saying, anyway, she confided with me afterwards that I was the best client she has ever had. She's totally never told anyone that before. And gave me the money back just because of how good it was, along with a phone number. My friends were mad, but not so much once I hired another prostitute for those sad fucks. Man, I miss college. I mean, that seems pretty real.
Yeah,
it's got 11 downvotes, which doesn't seem right based on, you know, how real the story seems. No, I think they're just
sad fucks who are jealous of this man's obvious prowess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I'm sorry that it wasn't in this, but I've got to assume that after he finished performing the act on the prostitute, she stood up and clapped.
Yeah, and then everybody else clapped.
Everybody clapped because they were just like, "This is so impressive."
They carried him out on their shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you know what I mean. Like that's an important thing to know, is that if you want to hire a prostitute and you can't afford it, you just have to be so good at sex that they're just like, oh, you know what, this one's on the house.
That's definitely a thing that happens all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're good like this guy. You know, obviously they want him to go last. You know, when you hire a prostitute that, you know, a bunch of your friends have sex with, obviously you want to go last. Yeah, you don't want to be the first one in there.
When you're running,
you want to go last.
When you're running a train, you want to be anchor position.
Yeah, you want to have sloppy thirds. That's the preferable one. Not because your friends know you're a complete horrible asshole and are like, you get her last because we know you're not going to pay her. And then she's like, well, she didn't want me to pay, is what you tell to your friends when they ask for the money back that they paid for. So anyway, So, you know, who among us hasn't hired a prostitute during a drunken college party? You know, it's just one of those things boys do in college.
Yeah, they will be boys.
You drink beer, go to beach week, you know, lift weights. Hire prostitutes, you know, like
regale yourself with stories for your calendars.
Yeah, you know, beer. Sometimes you drink so much you boof. You know, I played too much Devil's Triangle that I boofed. Am I using those terms correct?
I don't. I don't know anymore.
Anyway, that's it. Also, I've heard word that Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande broke up, and Love is Dead.
Love is Dead.
Who would have ever thought that relationship in which they were engaged in the first 3 weeks of them dating would have not lasted more than 5 months?
The pop star and the SNL cast member can't stay together.
Yes. Who could have ever thought?
And who?
What hope do we have?
What hope do we have? What hope do I have? I'm married, but could it ever last? So that's what I'm saying is hold your loved ones close because you never know what the future could bring. Some man could sneak in and give you a fake knife and tell you to stab your wife or girlfriend. Yeah. And it was a real knife and
if
you were too stupid to notice.
And tells you to stab somebody, don't do it unless you want to.
When a guy dressed up in a Halloween costume gives you a knife, you make knife-a-nade. When life gives you knives, you make knife-a-nade.
I could use some knife-a-nade.
I'm really thirsty because I finished my drink pretty early on, so knife-a-nades actually sound pretty good at this moment. And maybe that's a reason why we should probably stop recording because I've got a knife here.
Oh no! Don't do it, John! Don't do it!
It's a box cutter, to be honest. So
we'll have a fresh bite answers next week.
Yeah. We skipped it, so
yeah, that's all right.
We had a lot of those stuff to talk about, you know.
Keep the anticipation growing for bite answers.
Yes. So I'm John_Danger on Twitter. You can see me tweet things. Or you can go to bornintheeighties.net, or we have a Patreon, patreon.com, Born in the 80s, I believe, or Born in the 80s podcast. Feel free to subscribe. $1 a month, you know? Like, it helps us pay the bills.
Yeah.
Which aren't that much.
And you listen to this whole thing, you're technically stealing from us.
Yeah, that's true. You've stolen from me and my family. I don't have the cats in here with me. But I have a dog who needs to be fed. And I need to get her weird Halloween costumes that she hates to wear.
John has a dog that's recovering from surgery. Give him some money.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. Thank you. Thank you for having my back there, Matt.
Hey, check out our Discord. You can find the link at bornintheeighties.net. And that's where John posts game codes. And if you don't claim them, I do.
That's the point. Yep. I don't know if the new one has been claimed already because I already have the game, so I can't tell.
Oh, I don't know which one. I claimed Stardew Valley. That was the last one I claimed.
Yeah, that one was a while ago, so...
I give a good week. Like, I give until the day we're going to record the new episode before I take any old...
Yeah, that might not work super great because the episode in which I think I gave this one out just went up today, so...
Oh, man, you should do that sooner.
I would say probably give them 2 weeks.
Oh, fine.
Although I did post it, so if you were listening live, you have a 1-up on people.
Yeah.
Because I do post them.
You gotta
or if you just check the Discord.
Also find my shit at matthagmusic.com.
Yep.
And all of the places that links to.
Yep. Oh, I guess it's me now.
Yeah, it's you.
I'm TJ. I'm on the internet everywhere at May of May, except for on Twitter, which is at May of May 84. Fuck Twitter. I want my thing from my Korean lady. I want my name back. But come see me on Twitch, which I might stream. Well, if you listen to this podcast not live last week, but that's twitch.tv/May of May.
Hey, I might put this up tomorrow night. You never know. I've done it.
Yeah.
Well, I just do it when I get time.
True, but I can't stream tomorrow night. I got work until 11:30 at night. Nice. But bye, everybody.
Yes,
it's been fun.
Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
John, I know you talked about Dragalia Lost already. Do you have more to say about it?
Why? Did you play it?
No, I don't, but you still have it up here.
I put it back up.
Okay.
Oh man, there's an Overwatch Lego line.
I was just making sure because I know you talked about it. fuck. What else was I thinking about?
I want a Bastion Lego figurine.
We all do. Oh, you increased your follower goal.
Yeah. Because I hit 50. Now the follower goal is 1 billion.
I almost want our Discord goal to be higher.
Is there...
I want our Discord to be unruly.
Is there a short Discord, like URL or channel name or something I can put on like screens?
I think we have to subscribe to like Discord Turbo for that to happen.
Okay.
Well,
I can add
hang
just
on,
like some
hang on.
flavor text that says like
Hold
join
on,
the
well,
Discord.
It's short, but it's not a. I mean, it's not a like an easy off the lips like Discord.gg/ like 8 jumbled letters or 6 jumbled letters or something. I think you could put it there. Give me a second. I'll get you that.
Well, I won't do it right now, but maybe I'll make a little like graphic that says join the Discord.
Maybe we'll put a bot in here and have it with a command ! Discord.
Yeah. Do you know how to do that?
I think I haven't worked with Nightbot, but that's the easiest one to build in. But you could you could make lots of bots do what you want them to do with it.
Okay.
I think even Streamlabs has some botting you could do. Ugh. I just had a large glass of iced tea lemonade, and I want more, but I don't feel like getting up.
I have a large glass of iced tea wild turkey.
Is that a hard iced tea?
It's bourbon in my iced tea.
Okay. That sounds good, too.
It actually goes together pretty well. It's like unsweetened iced tea. So I'm trying to cut back on the sugars.
Wow, Discord, you were sucking today. Maybe it's just my internet. Ugh. Ugh. Fuck. Stop sniffling.
Yeah, stop it.
Yeah, TJ, shut the fuck up.
From Ipanema, something.
It looks like I'm not going to Discord anytime soon. Alright. What does Twitter have for me?
Matt, do you want to talk about Fallout 76?
I could.
Because didn't you... I saw you talking about how that there were Fallout 76 videos and things.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that?
I watched a lot of it.
Yeah, see?
Okay. I might need you
I
guys
haven't seen
to
anything.
prompt me with questions, though, because a lot of it
Yeah.
is like, yeah, it's Fallout.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Alright.
Oh, that was the other thing. I remembered now.
What?
Cell phone surgery. The results.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
alright. You're a cell phone surgeon.
Yes.
Like a surgeon. Hey! Cut for the very first time.
Did you make up that song? That's very clever.
Like a
Like a
surgeon.
I've actually created
Organ
a parody of that
transplants.
song called Like a Sturgeon. It's about that fish.
On my mind.
Those fish are really weird. Have you ever touched a sturgeon?
Yeah,
It's really weird.
they're rad. I was at the Duluth Aquarium once, and they had real small ones that you could pet. They
Oh,
felt
nice.
Like armor. It felt almost like a turtle shell. That's how hard it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we went to the Shed Aquarium, and they had
Yep.
they had them floating around, and you could just pet them.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that this aquarium existed in Duluth. I should probably go on
it's
a trip
pretty
to
rad.
Duluth. I like
It's nice.
aquariums a lot.
They
so.
have a whole like tourist area built up that's pretty nice. I guess it used to be like all dive bars and strip clubs before there was like a big kind of renovation period.
Yeah, like a tourist renovation. All right, TJ.
And it gets so cold there, they have skywalks, so you can cross the street without going outside.
I'm advertising.
TJ, your microphone is so weird.
Yeah.
It like picks up.
Extra
It picks
sensitive today.
It picks up your breathing like really well for some reason, even though you don't have it near your mouth. I don't understand. Like you clearly don't have it in front of your mouth, but it's.
Okay. How's that? Is that
That's
better?
fine. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, it's way up here now.
Yeah, that's better actually.
Okay.
I don't know why that is, because you have it clearly far away from your face.
Because it's meant to go through the mix amp, and right now the mix amp is kind of buzzy on this phone. It might be the phone port. No.
Yeah, those 3.5-inch jacks.
I would guess it's probably the mix amp. Because if that's acting as like a preamp, that's usually where noise gets introduced.
Yeah. All right, let's get started. Sorry.